Hey guys, it's Matt here. The Pixel 4a 5G has been out for quite some time now, but I'm going to do a review of it in 2021. These are my overall thoughts. I've had this for about a month, a little bit longer than that now, and I think it's actually very good considering the price. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So the first thing I want to mention is the price, because obviously the 4a lineup is a more budget lineup than the Pixel 5. And so I want to cover really what you can get for what price. So Pixel 4a prices in at $350. If you want to pick up Pixel 4a 5G, that's $499. And then if you want to pick up the Pixel 5, that's $699. So honestly, I don't think it's worth picking up a Pixel 5. Really, you're only getting slightly better build quality, a slightly nicer screen with 90 Hz, but it is smaller, and there's not much else. You're really not getting a whole lot more for $200. And so I think the 4a 5G is the perfect middle ground. The 4a, it doesn't have the wide angle camera, it's slightly smaller. You don't have 5G, you have a worse processor. You're gonna notice that. It's gonna be a lot worse performance and you're gonna see hiccups. It's not gonna be as smooth as this. And so that's why I think this is the perfect device, because the price is in the middle and the overall performance is pretty high up there with the Pixel 5. You're not gonna notice too much difference actually. But just to clarify, this is a 6.2-inch OLED screen. It's only 60 Hz. Pixel 5 is 90 Hz, but honestly, I think this is pretty good. And considering how smooth the Pixel is and how responsive it is with stock Android, I'm actually pretty happy with 60 Hz, it's not too bad. Something to note is there's less RAM in this, there's 6 GB of RAM, which is still quite a lot, and considering it's stock Android, there's not a lot of bloatware, and so performance is exceptionally good. This is probably one of the best performing Android devices I've actually used. The processor in this is the Snapdragon 765G. Obviously that's not the best Snapdragon processor out, but you're not paying for the Pixel 5, you're paying for the Pixel 4a 5G, which is cheaper. And so you're not paying flagship prices. I wouldn't really expect flagship performance, however, it's pretty close. I'm not much of a heavy gamer, but I did try COD Mobile on here and it worked pretty good. It actually was able to max out the specs and it did have a couple of hiccups, but overall it played pretty well. And most games I tried on this worked great. Any application I downloaded worked great as well. Video editors, whether I was editing photos, watching YouTube videos, whatever it might be, even just Word documents, everything was really smooth, buttery, and honestly I can say a lot better performance than my S20 Ultra, which I did have last year. So that's pretty nice considering the price. But obviously you're getting stock Android, you're gonna get future updates for, I believe, 3 years, it might even be 4 years now, but obviously you're gonna get updates much quicker than other Android devices, and it's obviously a Pixel, so you're getting stock Android, and you're getting all those nice Pixel features as well, like being able to answer calls with Google Assistant, which is only available in the US right now, but you also have a really nice always on display, which is super clean, and it also has this always listening mode, which shows you which song is playing at the bottom of your screen, which is always really handy when I'm at a party, or when I'm just out and about and I hear some music playing in the store. But in terms of music playing, the sound on this is actually very good. The 4a just has a regular single firing speaker at the bottom. 4a 5G actually has dual speakers. So you're gonna get stereo, and honestly, it's very nice, it's very loud, it doesn't distort for this price, sounds good. Yeah, I can definitely rate this. Now, probably one of the reasons it does sound so good is because it's very open. And honestly, this thing is not IP rated. There's no water dust resistance. Do not get this near water. Pretty much it's going to be very undurable. It only has Gorilla Glass 3 on the front, and that's why I put a screen protector. This thing has very fragile glass. I scuffed it and scratched it a few times with just my belt buckle sliding it in and out my pocket, and just occasionally laying it on the table and getting my keys slightly caught on the screen. So realistically, you're going to want to pick up a case and a screen protector. This thing is only plastic. It does fingerprint quite badly, although it is matte finish, so not too bad. And considering this is plastic, I thought it would be nice to have wireless charging, but you don't get wireless charging in the 4a lineup, only in Pixel 5, which is kind of a disappointment, but you do have fast cable charging, which is 18 watts. Now I know it's not the fastest out there, but it does come with your charging brick in the box, and it charges up pretty quick considering the Pixel 4a 5G has quite quite a small battery compared to other devices out there, but it does take about an hour and a half to charge up. But in terms of battery life, this thing is exceptionally good. Google have optimized this very well. Might even be due to the lower processor used in this guy, and also obviously only 60 Hz screen. But the battery life is insane. I've been getting about 7 or 8 hours screen on time, possibly even more, and performance has been great, like I said. So considering all of that, I can say just right off the bat, this is a great device for the money. If you want a cheap Android device, this is definitely where you want to go. Now, something you don't get on this is you don't get face unlock. You also don't get an in-display fingerprint scanner. You're going a bit old school with the fingerprint scanner on the back here, but it is very quick and effective. Works pretty well, and I find myself naturally putting my finger there when I take it out of my pocket. Where it really steps up the game is in terms of the camera. This thing is insane. So on the back, you have a 12.2 megapixel camera and a 16 megapixel wide angle. Now on the 4A, you only have the standard camera, but you also have the wide angle on the 5G version. Honestly, it does get noisy at night, but it's pretty good in the daylight and you can get some nice shots. Honestly, I don't use it too much. I tend to stick with a standard sensor, but this thing is exceptionally good. Now, something you might want to keep in mind is that this uses the same camera technically as the Pixel 2, so really not a lot of innovation when it comes to hardware, but Google's AI and software is just so good on this thing that it really can step up your picture quality and kind of overtake some of the flagships coming out this year. So honestly, I've been very impressed with this. I've been comparing it to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I can say this thing is definitely up there. Sometimes the iPhone does have better pictures, just purely because hardware is always better than just software enhancement. But honestly, the Pixel does a great job, and I can say even when it comes to low light, this thing is great. I love the astrophotography mode. Basically, you put it in night mode, you leave it on a tripod, and it will give you this option, but you can take pictures of the stars and low light shots, and it just looks exceptionally good compared to other devices out there. I absolutely love it. And the software AI on this thing is so good. You can replicate things like portrait mode, you can change your focus after you've taken the picture. There's just so much when it comes to the camera. The only real downside I can see is the video is not that great because you can't really enhance video through software, but pictures on this thing are just exceptionally good. Now, an area I'm not very keen on is the front camera. It's 8 megapixel, but honestly, it's just not wide enough, and I don't like how it looks. It just kind of looks very grainy, and there's not much detail, especially when it comes to low light. It's just not very good, and I can't really recommend it for the front camera. Google has nailed it when it comes to performance against price. This thing performs great. It's got a great camera, a nice screen. Could be maybe a bit better if you increase the refresh rate, but the price is holding that down. Build quality is also not that great, but performance and the overall software features and updates you get with this are just really, really nice. But there are some things holding it down. If things like the outdated front-facing camera, the build quality, and the lack of IP rating really are a drawback for you, then you might want to check out something else. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. That's my review for the Pixel 4a 5G in 2021. Let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely do subscribe down below. We're almost at 50K. See you guys later. Peace.
All right, everybody, subscribe to the channel for more content. Peace out.